I wanted to welcome you to the Dealership Revenue Recovery Workshop. And this is how to recover 1 to 3 missed units per month without increasing ad spend. So who are we? Again, my name is Keryn Lynn. My husband, Derek, and we co-founded Boat and RV Marketing just based on what we found to be gaps in the industry. With over 20 years experience in RV and marina operations and business management, we developed different growth systems over the years. We've been featured in Soundings Trade Only, RV Executive Today. I was a featured speaker at the RVDA convention in 2025. And then lastly, we have been committed to the Spadership Leadership Development Programs. They're NCM associates now, but we were the scholarship recipients from the RVDA with them in 2020.
Cool.
So it sounds like this is a good fit for your business as far as who you are. So these systems are built specifically for boat dealers, RV dealers, marinas, and power sports dealers. And so who these systems are not for are businesses that just don't respond to leads. It sounds kind of crazy, but they're out there. They don't want systems, and people or businesses that only rely on walk-in traffic.
Okay.
So why boat and RV dealerships lose the deals and lose leads that they've already paid for? So how marine and RV businesses are fixing hidden lead leaks and converting more inquiries into bookings and sales. So the opportunity that most facilities miss is that they have the demand, the leads are there, but what we have found is that typically there are no systems to reactivate past clients, respond instantly to new inquiries, and follow up consistently. What we've seen is kind of like a mismatch of just kind of a hodgepodge of everything and no real systematized. So we have come to the conclusion that there's a lead protection problem. And what we mean by that is that most deals, they're not lost to bad leads. Everybody, typically will blame the lead, but really it's the system behind the lead and what happens after that lead comes in. So they're really lost to what we call a lead protection problem. And so why this matters now, paid traffic costs are as high as they've ever been. Competition is tightening. Everybody is getting in on the digital marketing and advertising game, and staff turnover is increasing. We're kind of out of that whole COVID, where boats and slips or RVs are just kind of selling themselves. So we're kind of reverting back into those pre-COVID conditions. And then we also just see a lot of inconsistent follow-up. And I'm going to just be letting people in as they're in the waiting room. So now the math of the first hour. So when you think about when a lead comes in, that first hour is really the most crucial. And lead response timing will dramatically affect those contact rates. So we're talking about speed to lead here. And in a 1 hour response time, if you have more than that, it's 7 times lower qualification rates. And so again, what we're talking about is speed to lead. The speed determines who wins the buyer. Now, what happens when that lead comes in? Traditionally, a lead submits an inquiry, and then we have an email notification. Perhaps that lead comes in, it gets printed off, and it just sits on a computer or a printer. I've seen a lot of that. the salespeople, they just get busy or preoccupied, and then response just happens an hour later, and the customer goes and contacts your competitor. So what we see here is the follow-up gap. And a fact here is that 80% of sales require 8 to 32 touch points. And as we all know, especially in this industry, people typically aren't impulse buying. The consumer is more educated than ever, but yet most facilities stop after 2 attempts. And so buyers take their time. So we know that the boat and RV buyer is the most educated as they've ever been, because with the condition of or the environment of the online world, they can research multiple dealers at once, compare options, product, feature, benefit. They consult with family, even friends, because typically, especially in the boating industry, you go boating with friends, they're the ones that introduce you to it. And so they'll also check reviews. So reviews online with Google My Business, Facebook, things like that. So the buying cycle is often weeks and really months. So there's a hidden revenue loss here that we have found in our experience, where this is just a very low gross average that we took for, let's just say like a boat dealership, for example. If they can recover 2 missed deals per month with following a system like this, if the average gross is 5,000 and you're recovering 2 units a month, that's going to give you $120,000 in annual recovery. And that could make a huge impact on your business. And the same goes for an RV dealer or marina. So here are some things that top facilities are doing differently. They're not relying on people alone. They're installing systems. So imagine this. A lead comes in, and within 30 seconds, you're setting up an auto response. Your sales team is already notified, and there's an appointment link delivered to the lead. And at that point, the follow-up sequence begins. So this system is implemented 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So basically, the best performing operations are using human and automation interaction. So the automation is ensuring that no opportunity is missed, and sales teams ensure that customers receive great service. So here are 4 core store automations. Number 1 is implementing a speed to lead. Number 2, a hot lead follow-up consisting of 10 to 14 days of automated follow-up systems, including text, email, and there's voice AI systems, business development centers, voice agents, things like that. Number 3, and these last 2 things are a huge missed opportunity. Number 3, a database reactivation, and number 4, reputation engine. And we're going to go over these in detail in each, and an example of how you can implement this into your own business. So automation number 1 is an instant response. So let's say a lead comes in. You want to set this up so that you're responding in under 60 seconds. So some trigger examples include your pricing inquiries, trade requests, slip availabilities, or financing inquiries. And something like this would look like an automated lead response system. And this kind of just shows you the workflow of how that lead comes in and what how you can set up for that lead to get touched automatically. So what happens is at the top of the funnel, your lead capture triggers. This particular campaign is set up through social media advertising. So the Facebook lead form comes in, and oftentimes there's a lot of missed opportunity here with the social advertising, because the leads will come in, but then there's no automation to it. They typically will sit in a CRM or a Google Sheet, and they just don't get touched right away. So the missed opportunity and how to fix that would be to set up an automation where that lead capture is triggered, and then it hits your CRM pipeline. It gets an automated sales assignment and an instant internal alert. So then that salesperson is getting that alert instantly. And there's a lot of people who have mixed feelings about text or email. So that is, you could always customize that to your preference. But and then automated nurture begins. So we're talking about that hot lead follow-up there with really within the first 14 days. And the goal is to get people to book an appointment, whether that's an instant appointment on a phone call or a showroom appointment, getting that person to come in and visit your showroom for a walkthrough or a demo. And then the automation number 2 is follow-up depth. So kind of going into this in greater lengths, where you want to create a 10 to 14 day sequence using SMS, email, and call reminders, either with a voice AI agent or a business development center. Now, this removes the human inconsistency, because we all know people get busy. People are just human. They forget things. And this is what this aims to solve.
Mhm.
So some examples of a follow-up workflow that we have found effective is on day 0, as soon as that lead comes in, you get an SMS acknowledgement and a team notification. And again, that's either through email or text. And then day 1, you want to have a follow-up touch with a multi-channel approach, either email or text, just checking in with that, asking about availability or any questions. And then on day 3, an educational message is really good. It could be a video, could be a link to an article if you're using any blogs, something to touch that customer that's going to educate them. And then day 5, sending an appointment prompt. So inviting them to schedule a walkthrough or consultation, and that could come with an appointment link. Day 7, another reminder touch through a different multi-channel follow-up, so SMS or email, just using a really good mix of all of these different channels that are available these days. And then days 10 and 14, final touch points, just to ask for additional reminder appointments or call tasks. So typically the dealership follow-up looks like, maybe let's say you're getting back from a show and you're going to sit down and you're going to call those leads, let's say day 1 when you get back to the shop. Day 2, you might text them. Day 3, you might get busy back with that day-to-day operations, and then you forget. And then that hot lead follow-up window just really goes cold. So using an automated follow-up system like this example here is going to have this running in the background. So you already have those touch points covered. And automation number 3, this is a really, really valuable thing that dealers can use, especially in the CRM world that we have now. If you already have all of those leads stored in a system somewhere, even if it's an Excel spreadsheet, dormant doesn't mean dead, right? And so hitting those past guests or buyers again, old leads, just re-engaging with those people, your cost to acquire that customer is significantly less than generating a new lead. So some example database reactivations, and these are real cases. One person that we've worked with had a 6,500 past guest list from their DocWa account. And what we implemented for them was an automated drip sequence for email and SMS touches. And so this campaign was running while those marina operators just continued running the day-to-day. So this was with a local marina here. And again, this list just came from their DocWa system. It was something that they've had for the last 12 years that they've been in business, and they'd never done anything with it. So it was really just gold.
Mhm.
And they ran this campaign for about 2 months in the fall, and it was geared to capture those snowbirds coming down the coast from like the mid-Atlantic Northeast. Charleston's a really good midway point down to Florida. And we're actually getting ready to run that same campaign or similar campaign again, getting those people as they migrate back north. So anyways, the offer, you want to make sure you have like an insane offer. And with their case in particular, it was a 15% dockage incentive during a certain window that they booked. And what we found with this was that there were increased bookings, extended length of stays, and it drives repeat visits. So these people were already familiar with this brand. They liked being there. And it's just a solid reminder to be like, hey, come back and visit us. And so, again, what was implemented was an automated SMS and email nurture. And the results of this was just pretty incredible. So an increased length of stay from 1 to 3 nights year over year. And then actually capturing a 50-foot slip, an annual slip conversion out of those people. So some really engagement results here, pretty remarkable. 98% delivery, 32% opened, which is much higher than industry standards. 81 clicks were generated to direct booking inquiries, and a 21% lift in profile visits. So this is really just helping overall SEO engagement through email and text. And it creates engagement. So these people were messaging back, hey, anything available for a 61-foot Hatteras? We're coming before the deal expires. What's the monthly rate for a dock block? So even converting people, those folks that you think are going to just be transients, into annuals, and already just using a client list that you already own. So there is no new ad spend. And then automation number 4 is the reputation engine. And what we mean by that is an automated review generation through Google My Business. Now, the benefits of that are it's going to increase your trust, improve your SEO, because now you're shifting that client list from email and text engagement over to your Google business profile. So that's going to enhance your SEO, your search engine optimization on those Google search results pages. And those reviews will often influence buying decisions. So this is an example Google review campaign, turning past guests into 5-star reviews. This is from an RV dealer. And they ran this campaign. The flow of it looked like it was a 1-week campaign that they did 3 to 4 touch points through email and text. They got a little creative with this and did like a gift card incentive. And so they collected the reviews through email and SMS, just asking for feedback. And again, these are already past clients. Sent some friendly reminders to folks that hadn't left one yet, and then generated the reviews, so positive experience that become Google reviews and testimonies. And then something that's really fun that you can do with this that people don't often think of is, yes, those reviews are on Google, and bonus points for responding to those reviews, because that counts too, and timely responses. But also, these reviews become a content engine. And what I mean by that is you can then share these reviews on your social media. And it just gives you one more channel to really share trust with your audience. So your leads are already there. The question is, do you have a system to convert them? And so this gives like a really good overview of how you can install something like this in your dealership without hiring more staff, without complex software, without changing your sales process. So, things that CRMs that could be used like Lightspeed, IDS, if you're using Constant Contact, MailChimp, we have our own proprietary software that's available as well, but really things that may even be implemented into your dealership already, those tools are there for you to use. This is just a system to share how to effectively run these campaigns. So with that, always wanted to share, if anything, we're happy to kind of review lead flows, revenue leaks, show an automated system and map how this could work for your business. And we install systems that capture leads, respond instantly, follow up, and reactivate past clients. So I'll